I'm struggling here. Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to look back at the purchases that I made in October of 2022. That's why 2022 is in the title, and I'm going to let you know whether or not I think that those were good purchases for me. If you happen to be new to my channel, hello, welcome. My channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is first and foremost, and while being discerning about what I allow into my makeup collection, what I bring into my makeup collection, what I choose to review. I really want my channel to be something for me and for you to help build a habit to just not pull the trigger so quickly on new makeup releases because they are so enticing and they really want to get our money. What I have in my makeup collection already can normally scratch the itch of what that new thing would eventually scratch the itch of, and you know, new things are only new for so long. If that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video before you leave today. And I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. I do additional content over there. My podcast with Kackie of Kackie Reviews Beauty is over there. Check that out, but there's no pressure to. Liking, commenting, and sharing my content is a really great way to support me. But I do want to take a second to thank all of my current patrons. You are the absolute best. If you're new to this type of video from me, what I like to, this is just to look back at my purchases from last year, and I'm just trying to discern whether or not that was a good purchase. Is it something that I still have in my makeup collection? Did I learn anything from that purchase? Because sometimes I think we get really down on ourselves when we make a purchase and it doesn't work out for us, but sometimes we buy that thing still for good reasons, and then we also learn something whenever we make those purchases that don't always work out for us too. Sometimes. There are sometimes just a bad purchase. I'm not going to say that there's not such thing as a bad purchase. Like for me, like something that would be a bad purchase is like I just added it on for free shipping and then it didn't work out for me, and then it's like I didn't even need to buy it in the first place. I just like made that choice. So I bought 3 things in October of 2022 and I still have 2 of them. So if you've been following my career with any interest within the last year, or you've been watching these videos more recently, I was on this hunt last year for the perfect like gray pink blush. So people have asked me to do a video on it, and I don't actually think I have enough of them to do a video on it. All I can tell you is that I never found it, but I found some things that I really like along the way, but I wouldn't consider any of these things to actually be the exact thing. But while I was in that hunt, I tried Mimi from Westman Atelier, I tried Rosy Beige from Gucci, and a lot of people recommended to me to try Inner Glow from Kjaer Weis. So this is what it looks like in the pan. As you can see, I've got quite the divot in here, and I believe this cost me about $54. Now, the pricing of this can vary. So I chose to opt for the fancy, this is like really heavy, luxurious packaging with this beautiful like swipe here, but you can also get it in cardboard packaging, which is less, or you could just get the pro pan. So if you have like cream products that you put in magnetic pans, you can just buy that. Those are considered refills. So when I run out of this, if I want to purchase it again, I can just buy the insert and I can pop this one out and I can pop that one in. But like if you have magnetic pans, you don't need to have this to put it, you can just, it's magnetic, so you can put it in any magnetic pan. Of the beiges that I tried last year, that what went from dead gray pink that turned into a newfound love of beige, I do really think that Kjaer Weis's Inner Glow really hits it. Now, there are people who are fairer than me or have different undertones than me that find this to pull a little bit warm on them. And I guess I can see it, but for me, it has that beige base, which does stay beige whenever I put it on my skin. And then there's like a silver sheen to it. And just like that newer Chanel blush that I just bought, this has like a bruisey quality to it that I really enjoy. I really like this, and like you saw, like you can, whenever I had the close-up, you could see the divot in here. I pull this out all of the time. This is often whenever I have a face of makeup that I feel like I don't know what blush would look good on it. I normally choose this. And now you may say with like the silver tone, the bruisey quality, it doesn't sound like it would go with a lot, but I find that this blush is a good backup, a good fail-safe whenever I don't know what to do. And I just really appreciate it for it. I'm glad that I opted for the more expensive, heavy packaging. That definitely adds to the experience for me. I know that not everyone is searching for that beautiful, heavy luxury experience, but like I said before, you can choose to do another route if this isn't what you're after, either to save money, or if you just don't like heavy packaging, you could go with the cardboard packaging. The cardboard packaging also looks very, very beautiful, and it's also refillable. So, you know, it serves all of the same purposes that this does. It's just a different option. Kjaer Weis is not a brand that I'm like particularly like chasing a high, trying to buy more from because of this. Now, I think there's a shade called Abundance that I've been recommended and sounds really good. I am not, looking to buy any blushes in the near future, but that's one I would consider. What I would really like to do before maybe considering buying Abundance is like hitting pan in this, and I actually don't think that's unreasonable. This is the kind of shade where I can just like put it on, and also I might be close to pan. You can see on the bottom, maybe you can't but there's like, I can see a circle, and normally when you can start seeing like a circle, it's like a perfect circle at the bottom. It might be just that you're close to pan, and like in a few uses you'll hit it. So I do want to try that other shade. I think that's the shade that people recommended to me. I do really want to try it. It sounds gorgeous and it looks gorgeous. I think I've seen other people swatch it, so it's something that I could see myself buying in the future. But what I will say is I think I got it right on the first try. Like, there's a possibility where I would buy Abundance and try it and it wouldn't be as loved as this. I am one of those people, if I try something and I really, really love it, the reason I probably really, really love it, when we're talking about blushes, highlights, like things that come in like a single compact, I'm not really talking about eyeshadows here, I probably just picked the right color the first time, and that's why it feels like such an amazing thing. Very rarely do I try something and I really love the formula and I want to try a different shade of it. It's like one of those things that kind of has to all coalesce and become part of the whole experience. So I think the reason I really like this blush is mostly because of the shade. I do think the formula is really nice, and I do think it holds up. It's a very sturdy formula. You can put it on top of liquids, but even if you've already powdered, I found that you can lay this on top. I think it works better on top of liquids, like before you powder, but ultimately I find that this is a really, really, really great product, and I would like 110% buy it again. I'm glad that I bought it. I think it was a good purchase. It was a great recommendation from the people who are subscribed to me back then. The combination of this ended up being the final thing that I bought in the search for that gray pink, and then I just was like, I think I just like beige blushes. Sometimes I get recommendations in my comments and then I try them and I don't really like them, but like this one, chef's kiss, was a great rec. The next thing I bought in October of last year, which is really funny because October of last year was also when I bought all of the makeup to do a full brand review of Charlotte Tilbury. And I actually just recently talked about this in the review video for the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hypnotizing Pop Shot in the shade Smokey Quartz. I'll swatch it for you. I don't want to, but let me get my thumbs out of these holes. Now, this was limited edition. I think that was a mistake because I think that a lot of people are still searching for this shade in particular. And this is a cool toned, very sparkly taupe. There's not really warmth in it at all, and I love that. If you've been around, you know that this shade I hold in really high regard. Hold on, let me remove this swatch. Some things to note is that this formula is not perfect, but I think the shade is perfect. And what I didn't do is follow my advice when I talked about the blush. I love this so much that I ended up buying another shade of it and it didn't work out. We'll talk about it next month. But man, am I really glad I got my hands on this. Before this shade, one and done eyeshadows was like not really my jam, but I find this to be a really great way to do a one and done, very effective smoky eye. Just kind of schlep it all over the lid and blend out the edges, and that's it. And it looks really good. The only thing that I have to complain about this is like, I love the way it looks. I like the way it applies. The problem lies in that it doesn't have the best longevity, and I find that it creases pretty quickly on me. And what I also learned with this eyeshadow palette and also the Rowan eyeshadows is that I kind of like a creasy look sometimes. Now, something like this eyeshadow look that I have going on right now, I think creasing would definitely like the quality would feel like it's lessening. But something about like sooty, grungy, gray, deep, taupey kind of shades breaking up on your eyes and just like leaving a crease feels like a little bit sexy, a little bit lived in, a little bit grunge. And I really like that look. And like this definitely helped me learn that that's a look that I'm very much into. And so I really appreciate it for that. These are $34. Now I got it with a pro discount because I applied for the pro discount in order to buy the Charlotte Tilbury products that I ended up reviewing. And I talk about that. Like if you watch that Charlotte Tilbury review, I'm upfront with the fact that I paid with a pro discount. I love this shade so much. It gets a lot of play in my collection, and I also feel like every time I pull it out, my comment section is like, I really wish I had bought that, or like, I'm so glad that I bought it. So I hope that they bring at least this shade back. I know that these were weirdly popular because they're very expensive single shadows, and I know they released some for Valentine's Day, and then this holiday all they did was release this, which to be discussed at another time, but you know, it was right in front of me to hold up, so that's why I did it. I'm incredibly happy with this purchase. It showed me that Charlotte Tilbury, you know, every now and then really can make something that I really enjoy and hit the nail on the head, and she just like really did it. It's funny because like I think that this packaging is like a little bit gauche, but I also think that if it was more plain than this, then I think I would be like, well, what am I paying $34 for? Like, well, I really love the eyeshadow. That's a bit pricey for an eyeshadow. What do you even get? You get 1.2 grams of product, which I guess is like not that bad. Anyway, this is something that will probably be in my collection until it's either gone or I die. And then the last thing I purchased is the Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance Primer. I had finally finished my Atelier eyeshadow base. Atelier is no longer a brand, they're no longer in production. And so when I was done using that one, I wanted to re-up on it. I almost, when Atelier announced that they were going out of business, I almost bought another one, but I didn't for a number of reasons because, well, I have a YouTube channel, and while I'm not one of those people who believes in I can't use discontinued products because you can't buy them, I think that's a really weird thing to say, because if I'm trying to love my makeup collection as it is first and foremost, that's the basis of my channel, me getting rid of discontinued products just because you can't buy them is like kind of going against my ethos. And I understand why other content creators who are reviewers get stuff out of their collection that because of that. But it's just like, I'm a makeup lover first and then like a content creator second. You know what I mean? Like that's the order of operations, I feel. So it's like, if I really love something and you can't get it, like, I'm sorry you can't get it, but I don't think I shouldn't be allowed to use it on camera. I was done with the Atelier. It was panned, it was emptied, I couldn't use it anymore. So it was like, if I have a backup of this, then for the next 6 months, I'm just using something and I can certainly buy something else. And also I'm not someone who likes to buy backups because I wasn't done with the one I was using when they were going out of business. Mine emptied out a couple months later. So I think they went out of business in July of last year, and I used mine up until October, and then this was what replaced it. So I actually don't have this in my collection anymore. It's actually not because I don't like it. I actually think it's a very good eyeshadow primer. I know that Too Faced has a bad history with all people. I also think it's important to keep in mind contextually that Jared Blandino is like no longer part of the brand and is doing something different now, and I don't think he benefits from Too Faced financially anymore. But either way, whenever I bought it, I feel like people were a little bit weirded out that I bought a Too Faced product, which is like fine. People are allowed to, you know, share their opinions about about that for sure. But I also was like really impressed with it. The only reason I didn't keep it is I got the Blink eyeshadow primer in PR like a month or so after this, and then it didn't serve its purpose anymore. It really was really great for mattes and satins, and it really let them hold up. Like my true test is whenever I use an eyeshadow base and I have on a very simple eye and I go work out, if my eyeshadow is still on my face and not creased, I think it does a good job. I can say with full confidence that that was my experience with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Now I'm not talking about like something like this. The Shadow Insurance would not hold up on like a half-hour ride on the Peloton, but satins and mattes, it really, really did its work. I have since used up my Blink eyeshadow primer and I chose to go with the NARS smudge proof base to kind of replace it, but I did rehome it. Tiffany now has the Shadow Insurance and that's what they use. So it's not like it didn't go unwarranted. Do I think it was a bad purchase? No, I needed an eyeshadow primer and it turned out to be a really good one. And it only got bumped out because I tried the Blink one and I liked it like a little bit better. But like I would say it was really comparable to the Blink one. And I stopped using the Too Faced one because I felt like people were like, why would you buy a Too Faced product? And I was just like, okay, well now I have this Blink one. But also it's like, who's gonna buy the Blink? You know what I mean? Anyway, all that to be said, that's that. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any purchases that you made last year that still are working out for you and you use a lot and you see a lot of high use out of, or if you bought anything recently that didn't work out. I would love to hear what you've bought recently and like just let us know how it went, because I love to hear whenever someone buys something and they really use it all of the time. Those are my favorite things, especially whenever I see other content creators, whenever they like talk about something so much in all of their videos every time. It just makes me know that they like really, really love that product. And so like, what is that for you right now? I would love to hear it down in the comments. Are you budgeting right now? Are you in a low buy? Are you in a no buy? Let me know down below how it's going. And that's that. Like, so I'm still on vacation as you see this video, so I might not be so active in the comments when this goes live, but I would love to read them whenever I have the time. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and if you are new here and you aren't subscribed and you enjoyed today's video, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure to like the video before you leave it. That really, really helps me. Again, I'm on Patreon, no pressure, and I have that other podcast you can check out. But I'm gonna wrap things up here. Remember to follow your hope, and you will find me. I will see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye.